Blended learning is described as the integration of various online technology resources into the classroom. It gives the student a chance to learn on their own, and it frees up teachers' time so that the teacher can actually provide more individualized attention because a kid is working on their own, and it also provides a teacher with a better understanding of where the child is at with their learning. At Mulholland, we use blended learning in several different ways. Actually, the teacher's the one who decides how to use it best in their classroom. Let me give you some examples. We have had a very successful program with credit recovery, where actually the student has failed in their math classes until they reach a point where if they don't get caught up when they enter high school, they're going to be behind. What we do is we have just an online course. It's a completely sanctioned course that qualifies for full credit, and the kid comes in, goes online, and starts answering the questions and learning online, and when they've completed, they get credit for their course. The teacher is there as a facilitator to answer questions when the kids get stuck and to make sure that the kid follows through and stays on task. Another way that we do it is where we have the Khan Academy, where there's lots of content. The kid can go in, learn online, and then the teacher actually provides the course structure once the kid really begins to understand. So the teacher now becomes a coach as they work their way through the sessions. Another way that we have it is where the teacher uses it as a diagnostic tool. The teacher, before a lesson is taught, will have the class take a pre-quiz, and then from their responses online can figure out what the kids actually know. That streamlines the learning tremendously. In that respect, many times, especially in 6th and 7th grade, they've seen this math since pre-K. They've added a little bit as the time goes on, and so the teacher doesn't have to spend time reteaching, say for instance, number sense, because the kid already has it mastered. It's a way for the teacher to give the kid credit for what they know, so they can move faster through the content area. The last is where there's tons of online resources, and the teacher says, I want you to go out and start doing research. Very similar to what we used to do in the libraries, where we would go, if there's a term paper to write, the kids would go into the library and do their research. Then they would bring their information back on little cards and do their writing, and pretty much what we're familiar with when I went to school. Except now they can do it online. It's much more efficient, and some of the great things about it is when we did it online in the library, there wasn't movies, there wasn't pictures, there wasn't the ability to...
Sorry. Just ignore.
Okay. There wasn't the ability to use all the learning modalities that the child has, the child needs. You see, each of us has different learning modalities that's the way we learn. And using these online resources, number one, frees the teacher up so that the teacher can let the kid have their head in terms of the research, and the teacher now becomes the coach in helping them shape their ideas and their content. So we get better content, it's student-directed, student-led, but teacher-supervised. We like the blended learning approach at Mulholland first because it allows the teachers to utilize that professional training and experience that they have gathered over the years to help the students learn in the maximum way possible. It also allows the students to more and more be in charge of their own learning. You see, when a student's in charge of their own learning, it's their product that they're creating, their product that they're going to be sharing with the world, and they now will do far greater. They will exceed our expectations more often than not because it's their content area. When we throw in Common Core standards, because they are interdisciplinary, we're finding that our kids are exceeding our expectations again and again, because now it really begins to tie in those multiple learning disciplines, multiple learning styles that most of us need to really master our content. Students love this because, you see, if I'm going to really master content, I need to understand that content. I need to do my own research, I need to do my own synthesis, and I need to be able to present it to my peers to validate what I've learned. In traditional methods of teaching, where the teacher is really providing us the information, the student with the information, that ability to go in and master is quite a bit hindered. And that's one of the reasons why in traditional systems I believe we're missing the mark. Kids like this, because they're the ones in charge of the learning and they're the ones expected to produce, and they're the ones reaping the benefits. Student achievement can be measured in several ways. What I want my kids being able to do is to be able to think. I want them to be creative. I want them to be able to go out, research the information that they're supposed to be responsible for, and present me with an amazing presentation showing me that they have mastered the content. When it's their personal presentation, then I know they've got it and they know they've got it.
Okay. They like blended learning.
Teachers like blended learning because, first of all, it provides them with instantaneous feedback about how a child is doing. It lets them provide support to the students in almost a laser-like fashion because they know exactly where the kid is having problems. Intervention is a much faster and more efficient process. This allows the kid to move through the subject area much faster. And the big benefit is discipline almost disappears, because once the kid is engaged in the learning process, they're not goofing around. And we like that because, you see, we got into teaching because we love kids and we want to see kids succeed. And when we don't like to do discipline, and when the kid's busy learning, it's great.
Okay, that's a minute. Hey, go ahead.
Personal learning devices are beginning to transform education at our school. You see, these little things are in almost half of our kids' pockets. These are connected to the internet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't have to have the information in here anymore. They just have to understand the question so they can do their research here. This is like a transition time. We're transitioning between the teacher providing the information that the kids are supposed to know to the kid going out and getting that information that they're supposed to know, synthesizing it down and making sense of their world. This is groundbreaking. This is a major, major shift in the way our students view the world.